All right, welcome back. I hope you started to warm up and think about OKRs.
Oh yeah.
Maybe just somebody could share like a few comments. What have you discussed? Any challenges or anything that advantages of OKRs?
Do you want it in the chat or in voice?
No, just voice over.
Okay, I can start that. I've been trying to coach an organization in their journey in OKRs that they've started a little while ago, but it's got a ways to go. And I think the things that we find the hardest is the idea of measurable outcomes, and what are those things that you're measuring to show that you've that the tasks you're doing, the work you're doing, is actually having the effect that you want, which is what it's supposed to be all about, from my understanding anyway, rather than just how much work did you do, which is very much what the focus of the organization has been before. We've got Jira that says do this work, but but how do you know that the work is doing any good? So that is the hard part. When the light bulbs start turning on with that, I find that hey, that people start rocking and rolling. But it's been that they can
we can relate to this. Like output versus outcomes, how to phrase it. It's really cultural shift should be an organization.
It is.
Yeah. Good. And I actually like to see that now half of the people is turning on cameras. So breakout rooms helps to.
They forgot to turn it on after breakout room.
Yes, and with more breakout rooms, maybe everybody will be with cameras. Great. So let's move on. So let me share back the screen, and I will go to present. Okay. Oh, no, I will not present because then I will not see the cards. So what we would like you to do now, so we will do it all together. So on the Miro, so we would like kind of to connect you with OKR Theory. So we have objective, we have key result, and we have initiative. Yes. And we have 3 sections. First section is answer the question. So what type of question, objective, or key result or initiative is the answers? And then you can see these 3 items here. So you need to guess and place them, which is for objective, yes, and place them. And then we have key attributes, and key attributes you can see to the right, yes, some of them. So for example, quantitative and measurable, whether it's for objective or whether it's for initiative or whether it's for key result. And then we have examples at the bottom. Yes, so this is just an example of objective or key result or initiative. So again, what do you think? So we do it as a collective exercise. So you can move other stickers as well. So we will see how we end up. So yeah, just grab the stickers and move them, and we will see what we will have at the end. Yeah, Oliver, the examples, please place them at the bottom. The yellow card. Thank you. And the green stickers should go to the top. Answer the questions section. Nice. Okay, yeah, we took all the stickers. So I think there is one thing that I would move. Maybe some of you can help me. Otherwise, all looks great. Yep, thank you, Matthew. Yes, I think all is in the right places. Great. Then the collective wisdom is working. And of course, we will now go through the OKR theory and align the ones that are new in the OKRs. But what you see here is the right answers. Great. And now we will dig into this. Okay, cool. So
all right, I will take over the next part. But as I can see, you already know pretty good the basics. Anyway, just repeat. So OKR's framework is stated like objectives and key results. We added initiative because like when we work with the clients, 90% of them, they also connect and use initiatives. That's why we decided to depict it here as well in OKR's autonomy. So objectives, it's the goals that inspire and like and set direction. So what do I want to achieve? Or if you're like a team organization, better like what do we want to achieve? Something inspirational, some like give some guidance. And key results, it's some clear indicators that we can measure the progress toward an objective. That we already what Matt mentioned. There should be more written as outcomes. So actually, the question we need to answer when we look into objectives that we set. So how we will know that we reached the goal or the objective we set. And then the last step, so it first is like objective, then key results, the key results to this objective. And so the last step, well, we need to have some kind of actions or initiatives to achieve. So what exactly then we will do? So it's kind of like, in the nutshell, the anatomy of OKRs. And then let's go into the exact objectives. I here are a few examples as well. So to make it easier, first we give some personal example. So it could be objective, get into shape after the holidays. Already good one objective. And the key result, reduce body fat by 5%. So you can see it's measurable, so we can measure if did we get into shape or not. So usually we need to have like a few key results. Here for simplicity, we just provide one. And then you define a few initiatives like run 15 kilometers a week or drink 3 liters of water per day. Oh, 3 liters a lot. Try max 2 liters. I think like kind of habits. And then we can look onto example from company, improve employment engagement. So it's quite like qualitative objective. And then we have 2 key results, how we can measure this, if we're improving it or not. Either increase in pace from 20% to 30%, or reduce voluntary turnover rate from 15 to 10%. And then you define like some a few initiatives that could help you to achieve these key results and eventually objective. So we can do 360 feedback in all teams. And then when we found out a few issues, we can resolve 2 or 5. And we think if we do this, like next time we will evaluate NPS, it will improve, maybe not to 30%, but to some degree. And let's go
and maybe Igor, I will add, and just what Matt mentioned it, yes, that quite often is that key results is like output, and the initiatives here is more like the output. Yeah, you conduct something, but what is the value of this workshop? Or when you resolve blockers, what is the value of it? And here the key results are representing outcome, yes. So that your eNPS, how your employees satisfied is increased, that your voluntary turnover decreased. So this is what matters, not the different workshops you do, whatever. You may do 1,000 workshops, but they might lead you to wrong outcome. So yeah, this is what is the main difference between key results and
exactly. Sometimes in key results they put like conduct 25, 60 feedbacks, and they put a key result because it's like measurable. There is some measure, but it's like output. You just do some output, or define 5 blockers. They put in key result, same. So it will not move anything. And let's go to the next slide. A little bit about objectives. So main characteristics are like they should be quite significant, quite big. Usually from our experience, we like companies that set objective from quarter, some company for a quarter, somebody for half year. and some for a year. So it should be quite significant objective, not a small one. It should be specific and understandable, simple, so we can remember, not like 25 words, sophisticated with different acronyms, etc. Inspirational and action-oriented. Usually, it's super hard to define objectives that have all 4 characteristics, but we need to strive for.
Yeah. And then in action-oriented, what helps you is just to have a verb. Yes, to be, to increase, to become, to decrease, maybe. Yes, so then it already gives you a direction. Yes, and it makes you action-oriented. Yeah. Good.
And then we go to key results. Yeah, so we need to be specific and time bound. So you need to be clear. Sometimes companies they set objective for half year, but then like they set key results for the quarter for a smaller amount of time, so they can reevaluate them quickly. But you need to specify and like time bound. If you want to reach, I don't know, NPS score from 20 to 30%, but like in a quarter, in a half year, in a year, so need to be clear. Aggressive yet realistic. Yeah, so usually like proposal and limit to set the bar for them. Measurable and verifiable. I think we will touch it in anti-patterns. Sometimes people set key results and then they go into the cycle and they realize, wait a minute, we actually couldn't measure them. It's super hard to measure and verify. So you need to be pretty clear that you can actually measure this, and it's pretty easy to measure. No more than 5 key results per objective. Usually I advise even no more than 3, because if you can imagine you have 3 objectives and like each of them have 5 key results, already 15 just for one team. And you have like multiple teams, you have department, you have like company, like could be 200 key results. So try to make the focus. So it's about key results. And the next one, a little bit about initiatives. Yeah, so like things are within our control. It could be projects, it could be features, epics, user stories, tasks, whatever. How do you use some structure? So in product companies, usually it's some like initiatives or epic levels, in Jira or somewhere, but they're like pretty actionable initiatives.
Yeah, and what I like about always quite often to explain the difference between initiatives and key results is about this circle of control and circle of influence. Yes, so initiatives usually in your circle of control. This is something that you can go and do. In this personal example, I can go and I can run. I can go and I can drink 3 liters of water every day. But I don't have a button to change the body fat by 5%. Yes, I can influence it through the initiatives. Yeah, so if you think in this way, then it might help you to distinguish between kind of key results, which is in the circle of influence through the initiatives, and initiatives is yeah, in your circle of control, the actions that you can do. Yeah.
Right. And the last super critical important ingredient of OKRs is to have a system. So it's not we just define them and forget about them, but we actually need to use later. And there are 3 critical steps. So define OKRs, no matter where it defines them. But then the next one is regular check-in. So actually have some, it would in different forms, but it could be a regular meeting once a month or bi-weekly. It depends on your cycle, where you actually check the numbers, your progress. Are you coming to this or not? Do you achieve your results or not? And the last one step in the end of the cycle, you need to reflect and reset. So you need to reflect, do a kind of like retrospective. How did it go in terms of like number, did you achieve or not? Do you need to change something in the process? And then you need to reset and come back and you start the next cycle with define OKRs. And this continuous cycle. Define, in the middle check-ins, in the end reflect and reset, and go to the next stage.
Yeah. So one thing is kind of to learn how to define what is the OKRs, how to define them. Yeah. the qualitative objective, which gives you direction, measurable specific key results, actions, initiatives underneath. This is one thing, but another is to build the system, the culture around, yes, to define them, to track them, and then reflect and reset.
With a personal example about get into shape of the holiday sale, we have like New Year's resolution we defined, but that we didn't do or didn't check. That is how usually we fail.
Yeah. And then at the end of the year, we kind of say, oh, okay, the same
Plus
New Year
10%.
resolution for next. Yes, for next year. Good. Yeah, I think the next we would like you to go into the groups and actually to practice, yes, defining OKRs. And after that, we will take questions. So when you usually practice, you have kind of, oh, I don't understand how, so probably will have questions after that. So how we will do it? We will split you into the groups. In each group will be around 4 people. So we have some scenario for you. It's very important strategic context that you will work on. So the project name is Sock Savers. Yes, and you have a mission. You need to solve the mystery of missing socks. Probably you can relate to it. Yes, quite often we can find one, but again, where is the second one? And so yeah, every laundry day, so some of the socks they vanish, and yeah, you got just orphanage singles. So you will have to investigate this phenomenon and develop some mechanism that actually can help you to reunite the socks with their long lost partners. Yes. And what we would like you to do in the group is to come up with at least 1 OKR. If you are super productive, you can come up with more than 1 OKR. So with 1 quarterly objective and 2-3 key results. Yes. So remember, objective is given a direction. Key results is how you will know that you are achieving the objective, how you will measure the progress. And you can see on the mirror the previous slide that Igor mentioned it. And if you have time, you can also come up with some initiatives, what you will do. Okay? It's very important mission that you have in the group. Okay, any questions on what you will do in the groups? No? Looks like not. Then okay, we will
But I recreated rooms.
You already
so
on
you
it?
have,
Yes, good.
Yeah, on it. So we have 3 to 4 people in each room. So you can see on the frame there is a name like room 1, room 2, room 3.
Yeah, and we give 8 minutes for this.
Yes, I just opened the room. Good luck, have fun.
Yes. Good, welcome back, sock savers. So not all have returned yet, so let's wait. I think it's more 15 seconds more, then people return. Okay, so you survived on this important mission, which is great. Yes, people survived. Cool. Welcome back. Okay, so how it was to work in the group and define your OKRs?
Raise a hand.
Okay, yeah, this is how it is usually when you, I don't know if it's kind of you are just starting work with OKRs, but yeah, it's quite the feedback usually we get that when teams are starting to work with OKRs, it's not easy. Yes, but it's getting easier with practice. So we wonder if some of the teams would like to share objective and key results and initiatives. If yes, then yeah, let's do it. So which team would like to share how to solve this world problem of sock saving? Yeah, have a raised hand. Konstantin?
Yep, I can share some findings from our team number 6.
And I will go to number 6 and we'll increase it. Good.
Yeah, so we define our objective like a save socks. It's very easy. And key results. So it must be countable. So we define like a amount of loss. For now, it's like a 10%, and we need to decrease loss of the socks from 10 to 5%. And what we're going to do with this, we add 2 initiatives. We will track socks before and after laundry. So we just count it to understand where this loss appears. And second one, we let pair socks after taking off from legs to avoid this loss before laundry. So we took off and put one socks into another, and in this way prepare pairs of them. And second one, objective key result, it's reduce variety of socks, at least to 2. So in spring and summer we use white socks, and autumn plus winter we use black. The same.
So go wild, only 2 types of socks.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
And if you have only one type of sock, then the problem is solved.
Yeah. In our group, there was one guy that said that use only black socks, and he have no this problem at all.
Yeah.
Or just don't wear socks is the other option. But
Yes.
No, not to wear socks.
Think out box. Yes, I like it, Matt. Good. So let's look at these OKRs from the license of what we have from links or what we have done. Yeah. So say socks is kind of given a direction, qualitative. It doesn't say how. Yes, the key result says how. So good, short, precise. You would like to work on saving socks. Great. And if you have a problem with it, then it will be also significant inspiration. And the key results is also good because they are specific. Yes, so they are measurable. Yeah, and the initiatives is in sphere of your control. Yeah, you can track after laundry, you can pair them. So yeah, I think it's a very good example of kind of also fulfilling the characteristics of what is objective and key results. Good. Any other would like to share? Maybe you had some challenges during the group work or questions, etc. on how to define objective key results. No?
Moving descended order, we have a number 5 board. Sorry, number 4. Number 5 is not filled out. We have quite ambitious goal for a quarter one, so it's never have it is match pair of socks again. It's our objective. And the first key result is reduce orphan socks by 50%. We didn't specify which value we have currently, maybe 30%, but and our initiatives is the first one to a color-coded laundry, and the second one is investigation of dry after every load.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
second key result is each pair has same color. It's my idea, not very measurable,
Yeah.
but kind of binary. We can measure it somehow.
Okay. Yeah. Good. Yes, and the very important point you said, that when you define a key result like this, you also need to understand what is your current state, what is your baseline. Yes, otherwise you will not be able to say whether you have reduced it by 50% or not. So yeah, this is also very important to keep. And when, for example, you work in Oboard, there is a current value. Yes, so you put a current value in order to have this baseline. Great. Okay, so yeah, thank you for sharing, Yaroslav. And let's then move on to.
I propose, Dmitry, let's do first shameless advertisement of your template for OKRs, because right now in the breakout rooms you did like smaller, simpler version, but Dmitry actually developed their OKR template for teams that you can use as inspiration. So you can, if you maybe can quickly show how to get this template, you can go to templates on the left and
so this is a template. So if you would like in your teams to define OKRs, and of course Miro is the best way to collaboration for online. For physics it's a whiteboard, but if you do in Miro, then you can use this template. It has kind of guide, 5 steps, and have questions that can help you on the way of thinking. If this objective ABC, if this key results ABC, how to measure key results, who is the owner, what initiatives to mention. So it's kind of brainstorm area. It gives you kind of a good foundation for discussion. And where you can find it, so you go to templates in Miro, and then you go to Miroverse, which is at the bottom, explore Miroverse. And I don't know if it's will open or not. Looks like it's not opening. I don't know why. Yeah, so advertisement is...
Alexei has shared the link.
Yeah, okay, good. So if you go to explore Miroverse and then search for OKR Canvas, then you will get this one from me, from Dmitry Yermak. So you can use this template. It will kind of help you to start on OKR definition. Yeah. So
and with I propose to skip the conclusion part, because again, like, to not jump into like a little bit like in the time. And with this, we like closing the part, the basic to align about OKR's theory, just to make an alignment that we speak in the same terms. And we go to the second part, a little bit to deep dive in the anti-patterns. And we want to make a connection with you and ask you, take a few minutes and fill out to answer to 2 questions from your perspective. So what anti-patterns you see in OKR's usage, if you use them, and also what tools do you use for OKR's management? We will give you 4 minutes to fill in. Let me double send the link to the frame in case you lost on the board with so many frames.
And if someone has a problem with Miro access, I don't know, you are on the phone or iPad, you can put it into the Zoom chat and we will just copy paste. Yeah, this is also an option.
We are happy to be your hands.
Yes. So if not possible to put it in Miro, then yeah, let's put it into the chat. Yeah. Even Excel with a smile, but you will be surprised how many companies are using it. I think Excel used in any instead of any tools. So yeah, it's you can use Excel as well, and it can work. OKRs.
Yeah, so Excel is like universal tool for everything.
Yes.
Like not only for OKRs.
Oh, Azure DevOps, nice. Oh, I would love to hear it. We are helping one company with agile transformation now, and they have Azure DevOps. So interesting. We might implement OKR there as well. Yeah. Yeah, Nelson, yes, we will share the recording. Yeah, thanks for joining, and have a great call. Yeah. Yeah, you can also draw your anti-patterns. This is actually what I did. You will see that I draw all anti-patterns. I made a drawing. Pay bonuses by OKRs. I love this one. Too many OKRs.
Classic one.
Yeah.
But yeah, but any other like no strategy, no tracking progress, outcomes, output, tasks, no measurements.
So 1 month ago, we one of the companies we had an OKR review, and the guy, he was in charge of OKR implementation at that company, said our CEO hates OKRs. And we say, well, okay, why so? He said, well, okay, we have prepared 2,000 OKRs, and when I showed all of them to him, he was kind of lost. And yes, 2,000 OKRs. Okay. Of course, he would hate OKRs whenever you will say these words to him. Cool. Okay.
Right.
Nice.
Thank you for sharing your anti-patterns. We also prepared what we usually see, and many of them like correspond to what you wrote. So I hope you will connect to them as well. And we decided to group them by the 3 stages that we mentioned. So what anti-patterns we can see usually in the definition of OKRs, where it was mentioned like too many OKRs, but also there is another flavor to this. So maybe not too many, but there are like many levels of OKRs. So we have like company OKRs and like some business unit and some department and some group or domain and then a team and then individuals, like cascading, and really doesn't work. Like somebody wrote about like, no, there's no strategy, so not clear. And then we put here like not clear why this objective is important or and why now. So there is no communication about this. Another one, I like the picture from Dmitry that he decided like OKRs are really just KPIs, but we should separate it. So on the left, you see like KPIs is something like shows you the health of something, your product, your business, your tech architecture, product, etc. While OKRs is something you need to like set like a goal and you need to reach to get to this number. So like it's differently. So it's like neither like something this or this, like OKRs or KPIs. Usually it's and. So you have health metrics, you need to track them, but also OKR is something you need to reach. Also was in the list. So sometimes like key result is to-do list, like list of actions, input or outputs, like make 2,000 calls or get 100 registration versus something outcome like get return on investment more than 4. And another one is when we have siloed OKRs. So I think like the worst thing is when you have too many OKRs on too many levels, and also they siloed by the functions. So also another anti-pattern. So we need to have functions aligned across the goals. So it's important to make them more cross-functional.
Yeah, and I would like to add here. So about OKRs as KPIs. So of course it's important to understand the difference, and Igor mentioned it. But sometimes company says we do not use KPIs, we use only OKRs. It's not right. You need to have both, because KPIs is your healthy metrics in order to run the business while you are changing your business. So KPIs is to track that you are stable, yes, and OKRs is to do something new. So the business should have both KPIs and OKRs. And then on siloed OKRs, the tip is
and for like KPIs, OKRs. So it could be like a life cycle for a KPI. So it could be KPI, so we just measure, but we don't need to do something. But then we want to improve. So we put it as a key result, we improve it, I don't know, to some number, and then I come back to again to the KPI that we continue to measure, like keep on that level. So you can also think about this. So KPIs could convert to key result at some point of time, and then they return to be KPI just to continuously measure and track and monitor.
Yeah, and then about siloed OKRs, the tip is so the way you define your OKRs, it already will indicate whether you are defining them as siloed or not. I just had today the workshop for a company which is only 30 people, but they define it OKRs all together. So they have 5 teams, and then at the same time they're defining and talking to each other. Yes. So whenever company asks, okay, let's do for this team today, then in 2 days for the next team, and then in 3 days for the third team, this is already might be an example of siloed OKRs. You might do in the consequence, but make sure that then bring them together and align. So it's also the way you define them, and that is why it's in define OKRs. So how you conduct the workshop. Good. Yes. And we will show some of it how you can kind of in Oboard to kind of to avoid. So another anti-patterns in the second group, which is check-ins. So Igor showed you about defining state. The second is check-in, where we track OKRs along the way. So the first one is that you don't have OKR reviews. Yeah, 0 OKR reviews. You define and forget. And then in a quarter, you start to think, oh, what about OKRs? Have we achieved them or not? So at least once in a month, yes, we work with the teams that are weekly check the OKRs. Then second anti-pattern is OKRs only on OKR meetings. You already probably have some prioritization meetings, sprint review meetings, maybe the planning, etc. And you are not talking on OKR there. You are talking, we will have a separate meeting about OKRs and we will talk about them there. Okay, this is anti-pattern because OKRs should represent the most important changes you as a team or company would like to do. And it means that you need to talk on them on regular meetings. So ideally, you do not have separate meeting for OKR. You embed into your existing business processes your OKRs. So another anti-pattern is not prepared and unstructured check-ins. So when you go to check-in, like of the OKR, then you already should have the data reflected in your tool, whether it's Excel or a board or something else. You don't need to spend time on kind of updating it. The owners on key results should update it before, and then you just discuss the challenges. Yes, celebrate the achievements and plan how to actually achieve them. So not to have it a status meeting, but have it a forum to move on. No clear ownership. So when you define OKRs, each key result should have an owner. Yes, the one who will keep an eye on the progress of the key result. It doesn't mean that this person needs to do all the work in order to make this key result happen, but the person who is keeping an eye that the progress is happening, the person who is updating the result, the person who is raising voice when it's challenged. Yes, so clear ownership. And the last is when OKRs are disconnected from real work. So you define really nice objective key results and then you do other stuff. And this is where Oboard is a great example, where you bring Jira. If you're working in Jira, then you link your epic stories, tasks, whatever, to the concrete key results, and you even can make an automatic contribution. Yes, that key results are progressing. So we will show this.
Okay, yep. So from the case, so companies that set OKRs in Excel, and then they work in zero epic sprints whatsoever, and they're completely disconnected. So what teams actually do every day, not in any way connected to the OKRs, and the receiver don't see any progress or anything. Those are like common pattern as well. And then we go to the next stage, reflect and reset. So remember, like in the end, we need to when we went through all check-ins, when at the end of the cycle, we need to reflect how did it go and like reset for the next one. So obvious first anti-pattern, we don't like nobody does it. No reflection, no reset. So we just continue as we do, like go and define as we did before, no learnings. Another one similar to the check-in, there is no structure of this meeting, no preparation to that one, just everybody gathered, something discussed, but nothing like acted on. Sometimes in some companies, it like OKRs are used to like for performance evaluation, for some blame game if you like not achieved, and then it could result in like negative performance review or something. And last two, so you had a meeting, reflecting on result, like maybe you organized, you have very good insights and actions and agreements, but there is no actual follow-up in the next cycle. Nobody does anything. And the last one, like looking back only, so you like reflect, but you don't look into the future, what actually you can improve on, what actually you can do. So it's like a few anti-partners for the last stage.
Yeah. Good. And now we are about to go to again group exercises. But before that, maybe some of you would like to raise the voice or share some stories that where you see these anti-patterns, or just share the pain so others can listen, or maybe some questions you have to the anti-patterns that have been shared. Yeah, Alexei.
I actually have a question about the follow-up, like the anti-pattern to no follow-up in the next cycle. How can this follow-up look like, except for, planning another cycle?
So one of the things, if you prepared some actions, and then when you go to the define and for the check-ins, you can follow up could be the next. So for example, before that, you didn't have like owners, and you figure out without owners, you have problems during check-in. In an action, so let's next time, we will, during definition of key results, we define some owners who will facilitate this key result. And then you actually, when you define, go to the defining stage, you introduce a new column or, I don't know, new field with an owner, and you do this. So that is how, for example, you could do, and same like with key results. You don't need to come up with 25 improvements for the next cycle. It will not work. Just also focus like 2-3, the key improvements that will unblock and improve your OKRs. Next time, it will be more than enough.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Good. And thank you, Alexei, for a question. Someone would like to raise a question or share before we go to group work?
So anybody relate to any of these anti-patterns? Have you seen?
I think if you look at what has been put, it's actually many of it we have also, yes, share it. So it looks like people are relating to this, which is, yeah, good. And we are not kind of saying something, oh, completely opposite. Good. So what we do next is we work in the groups again, workshop, not webinar. Sorry, we would like you to be engaged during the workshop. So we will again put you into the group, 3-4 people in the group, and we would like you to brainstorm what solutions can be used to resolve the following anti-patterns. So each group will have 3 anti-patterns. So you can brainstorm on one of them, on all of them. So just what you have in mind as a solution, and then put them on a sticky notes here in the Miro. And I didn't mention it previously, but I think everybody got it. So here is the number of the room. Yes, so number 1, 2, 3. So when you go to breakout room, please remember what is the number of the room, and then find the same Miro. And after this group work, we will go to a board demo, and then we will conclude after that the workshop. Great.
Important addition. So we are from different cities, countries, but also from the companies. It's not only like to brainstorm with a new idea, but maybe if you sold something to your company, it's super cool if you will share it inside the group or somebody else who has similar problem. So that is the value of this as well. So I put 5 minutes. I hope 5 minutes should be more than enough to come up with a few ideas and have a nice discussion. So Dmitry, let me know when should I open the rooms.
Yeah, you can open the rooms. Yes.
And it's opened.
Great. Have a great discussions. Welcome back. So now all patterns are resolved, I think. Anti-patterns. All solution identified. Yeah. Okay, we are waiting for more people to be back. Great. Okay. Great. Welcome back. Any team would like to share? We will have time just for one team to share. So the first one who will share the wish will be able to share this solutions or already practices you are using to share with others. Any team would like to do this?
I don't mind sharing for number one.
Yep. Yes, number one. Thank you. And I don't know how to call you because you have only S.
Yeah, Sharnice.
Shanice. Yeah.
Perfect.
Thank you, Shanice. And I will share the screen so everybody can see it. Good. Yeah.
Perfect. So some of the solutions to limiting too many OKRs, we said try to limit key results to what can likely be achieved in a quarter's time frame. Determine what are the main OKRs and potentially look to combine similar themes. And then as well as creating a separate list for like future iterations and then just focusing on one set or one list of OKRs at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
All right. So for the zero OKR review anti-pattern, some solutions are dedicating an existing ceremony to check in on OKRs, creating a dashboard view like Oboard or tracking visual that is available to all, and then even potentially creating OKRs around tracking OKRs until it becomes, until that's like a muscle that's built. And then lastly,
super.
To address like the no, reflect, and reset, thinking about celebrating accomplishing OKRs might help with that. Reflecting on OKRs after implementing new and supporting initiatives, and then potentially discussing OKRs and dedicated retro sessions.
Super. Thank you, Shanice, for sharing.
Yeah.
I would like just to share a story on with one of the practice that you shared, dedicating existing ceremony to check in on OKRs. So currently, I'm helping a big company which has more than 2,000 employees. Yeah, it's a Panasonic in Germany with OKR implementation, and they dedicate 5 minutes of the board meeting every week on OKR check-in. Yeah, so this is really shows that they are really trying to use the OKRs because every week the board and the top management 5 minutes looking at the top OKRs. Good.
Yeah.
Great. So
usually people against to introduce a new meeting and there could be resistance. And actually, it's a very good idea when to reflect on the current events or like meetings regular, where you can just include for 5-10 minutes. No need to be like 2 hours.
Yeah. Cool. So it was the last group work. So now I will go with the demo now, and then we'll go with checkout and the questions. So yeah. So where is the frame? Here is the frame. So demo. So I would like you to show a demo for Oboard. So some of you, we know that some of you are users of the Oboard. and some are not. So let me show some of the functionality. I will not be able to show all the functionality, but just the basics, and also I will try to link to the anti-patterns that we have discussed. So, and you see my screen, yes? Great. Okay, so this is the Oboard Jira plugin. And first I would like to show the settings. So yeah, so you can see this is kind of what you have in Oboard to the left, the toolbar. And I would like just to show some of the settings. So first thing that I would like to show is levels. So remember, one of the anti-patterns is many levels. Yeah. So in this demo sample, I have only 3 levels, but actually I even use only 2 because the personal, quite often we do not recommend companies to go with the personal OKRs in the beginning if they are new. Because first you need to establish how to work on a team level, and after that work with the personal. So, but still you have here kind of 3 levels, yes, not like in the anti-patterns where we showed with 10 levels. You can create in the 2 more, but our recommendation to have as less possible number of levels, as possible. Then another thing, you have labels where you can mark OKRs, because OKRs are different. So one of the things that we mentioned to you is that they should be aspirational. Yes, as Larry Page says, if you miss the great OKR, still you will achieve probably something really inspiring. So you can also create labels in a board marking, for example, this type of OKRs. It might be a committed or aspirational OKR or learning OKR. So committed OKR, it's something that change. It's a big change, but you know you should hit it. You should do it. It's very important. Yes. Then you can mark it as a committed, and then the rest of the OKRs you can mark with label as aspirational, meaning that teams know, okay, if we achieve 80% of the OKR, then it is a great result. Yes, and then this agreement is happening in the company. We usually call it the OKR ground rules, like what you say is a great level. Yes, let's say from 70 to 100 is a super achievement, and then this is what you can put to aspirational OKRs. So the labels functionality. Then there is also such thing as a workspace, where you can have multiple workspaces, ACAC projects in Jira. Our also recommendation to try to do it with one workspace in order to have it easier. But Oboard gives you a possibility to have multiple workspace for the same company, meaning that you can control user administration settings in the way you would like. You can control transparency if you don't want to show some of the OKRs. But again, we know that OKRs would like to have transparent to everybody. Yes, this is one of the keys. And when you look at and we are in demo, when we look at demo workspace, then here you can configure groups. So let's say you have 5 groups in your company: leadership, marketing, sales, operations, product. Okay, then you can configure these groups. You can add users into these groups. Yes, and it means then when you define OKRs, you can set the groups on these OKRs, and you can define owners on these key results, real persons that will work on it. Then you define intervals. Okay, so for example, you have a long-term goal for 2 years, 2023, 2024. This would be one interval. Then you would like to have for H2, second half of the year of 2023, and then you have quarters. So, and you can create whatever intervals you would like to have. So yeah, so this is kind of the flexibility that Oboard gives to you. I will not go to other settings. So this is just the one that I wanted to show. And then let's look at the objectives. So how in Oboard you see the objectives? So you click on objectives and then you select the interval. So now I am looking at these long-term objectives. Yeah, and you can see it is on leadership group. So if I scroll here, yeah, leadership group. So this is a long-term objective for company for 2 years, and they say the objective is to be a market leader in the industry. Yeah, in their industry, and then they have a key results which are measurable. What we have just discussed: increase market share by 20%, expand international presence by entering 3 new markets, etc. Then you can put owners here, yes, that will kind of drive the key result. So let's look at the key result. So when we click on a key result, then you can define first the type of measure. So whether it's percentage, binary, if it's just achieve something, or it's number. Yeah, so here it's a percentage, but in the key result where it's 3 new markets, it's might be a number. Yeah, and you define what is your baseline. You remember we have talked about it. So the start, what is, and then and what is your target, and then you update the current, yes, and then it's kind of automatically recalculate your progress, taking into account what is time left in this time period. So automatically recalculate you. Yes. Then there is also possibility to have manual or automative tracking. Yes. So here it is automative. So you look at the interval, but you might also have a manual. You would like to put a manual. For example, if we go to, for example, this one, launch 3 new innovative products, and you know that you will launch them quite at the end of the period, and it means that it will be 0 for a while, and it will be at risk. So what you can do, you can put a manual and say, this is, even it's 3%, but we know it's on track. We know that next week we are launching 2 products, and then in 3 months, the second one. So you can put kind of say, yes. So you can override it, yes, and say that this is on track. Good. What else do you have? You have a contribute field. So what does it mean? It means that all these key results, they are contributing to the score of the objective. So this score automatically calculated based on what is happening here on these key results. So, but you might say, you might have, I don't know, kind of just to link key result and say that this is not contributing. It's hard to imagine this scenario, but it might be. And let's look at where this might be. So just one moment. Yeah. So if I just select also, so now I would like also to select another period. Yes, Q3, not only 2 years, but I also would like to see objectives that are for Q3 quarter. Yes, and just one moment. Good. So first you can see that, okay, what is going on? Yes, it's like a tree now. So this objective is 2 years horizon for leadership. Yes, and this objective, this one, is for quarter. So this objective is for Q3, and it contributes to this key results. And then we kind of say, okay, in order to get this key result, we working on this objective in Q3 in order to drive 2 years objectives. And then this objective will have key results underneath. And then you could put other groups on it, like sales, marketing, not only leadership, indicating that they will work on it. And yeah, and so on. You can kind of go even more down. So, and if you look at this key result, let's say release product A, yes, it's Q3 and it's for product team. And this is what Oboard, the magic happens with Oboard. You can see this is the Jira issue. So the real work that teams are working, if they're working in Jira, they're doing it on Jira. And this is where you can link your Jira issues to the key result. So this is about anti-pattern of real work is not related to OKRs. By having Oboard, if you're working in Jira, you actually you bridge the gap between your strategy, your goals, and your tactics, what is in Jira. Yeah, so this is a key results that you can link to the sorry, this is a Jira issues that you can link to the key results. Yes, great. So what I also wanted to show you is the custom weights. So let's back to 2 years. So we have objective and we have these 5 key results under this objective. So if you go to objective, then you can see custom weights. What does it mean? It means that you can say that, okay, increase market share by 20%, I would like to have weight of 4. This is the most important in achieving this objective. And these weights will be used during the calculation of the score on entire objective. Yeah, so you can play with it and say, okay, this key result is not so important, and these are super important. So you can change in the weights, and it kind of will include into the calculation of the upper rate. Yes, and then this objective is you can see it's a good example. Remember, one of the anti-pattern is not to reflect why this objective is important, or how this objective is aligned to high objectives or mission if it's the highest objective itself. So this is one of the way how you can put it. Yes, and in some companies we just say this should be just a template. All objectives should have these 2 questions, and then the one who define objectives, they need to think about why it's important, how it's aligned. And this is the communication to employees. It's easier for them than to understand why we're working on this objective. So yeah, this is one of the ways how you can work with this anti-pattern. Good. So what is next? So we have alignment view here, but also you can have OKR map view. So if you click on OKR map, and then let's select also Q3. So 2 intervals, not 1. Yes. And then I also would like to see key results. So this is also the way to see, not in the list, but kind of in the map on how it's aligned. Okay, so we have this top objective key results. We have another objective which is supporting these key results, and this objective have these key results, etc. Yeah, so this is the way where you can kind of see how the alignment is happening between teams, etc. You can select the groups here. You can say, I would like to see only marketing. Yes, only marketing objectives. So, and then you will see them. Yeah. So this is another way on how you can kind of see the alignment. Good. What else? There is a possibility of creating custom dashboards. So Oboard have 3 different, or even maybe 4 different dashboards. So a general dashboard that kind of gives you a general overview in the intervals that you are selecting on how you're progressing. A performance report that you can use just for the special group. Let's say I would like to use it for marketing and see how they're going. Yes. Let's use product. Yeah, because I need to select another interval. Yes. Yeah, for example, operations. Good. And then custom dashboard. This is where you can craft your dashboard, tailor it to your needs. And this is one that I made, for example, just for our demo purposes. So custom dashboard, become a market leader. Yes. And then you put objectives. You can put up to 10 objectives here. And also what is nice here, you have this presentation mode, so you can put it on a big screen in the hall, and then every, I don't know, some period of time, it will change like this, yes, automatically. And it will show you, okay, how we are progressing on each of the objectives. Yes. So, and this is a custom dashboard that quite often is used during check-ins. Yeah, because it's quite easy. You just, for a team of marketing, you create a custom dashboard, put in objectives that you are working on currently, and then you quickly see where we are. And you just discuss, okay, here we are on progress. Great job, guys. Let's look at what is under risk. Okay, this is under risk. What is the plan B? So what we do? Yes. So what are the challenges? What is our initiatives? Less of status meeting, more of driving meetings. Yeah, and then you have a home just for you. Yes, what you're working on, etc. And you can select and see for others. And also there is a settings where you can disallow it if you don't want people to see others' progress. So you can disallow it. Also, Oboard has such thing as a stakeholder. So if I am not owner of key result, but I am a stakeholder, I can be put on OKR as a stakeholder, and then I will see it on my dashboard. So I'm kind of interested in this. So if I go, for example, this objective, then here you can see add stakeholder. I can put myself as a stakeholder. Great. Yes, nice. And then I go to home, and now I have two objectives. Yes, that I am following on. Great. Also, Board has the 3 macros in Confluence, both in server and in cloud. And this is just one of the examples of what you can do. So on Confluence, you can just put macros from Oboard. And let's say this is one of the macros where which names is the Oboard filter, where you select the group, the time period, what you would like to get to see there, so you can drill down and see what is happening on Confluence, not only going to the Oboard. Also, you have the macros of this home dashboard where you can put it. Yeah, so you can also, there is also possibility for Confluence, both server and cloud. Yep, and the last thing that I wanted to show you, is about connection to the real work. So I already showed it a bit, but I would like to show a bit more. Yeah, okay, this is because of marketing. So I select all groups, then I see everything. Good.
After this, I'm in a 2-hour training session that was not what I had hoped.
Yeah, Matt, and we can hear you. So
I made it.
Okay, Matt is not. Okay, good. Yeah, so we have these key results, and we have this Jira issues. Yes, great. So you can also see the roadmap. So let's go and see the roadmap. So this is the product group, and this is the key result 8 and the objective 7. So you have also roadmap view. Yeah. And so you can also kind of see, okay, what is your epics, Jira epics or stories? Yes. And there is a synchronization. So if I change it here, yes, let's say, oh, okay, this should start like this. Then it's automatically change it in Jira. Or if you change the period in Jira, it will automatically change in the roadmap. So this is really synchronized. So you can also see okay, what are the means? What are the initiatives? What I will do in order to achieve these key results? And you can see this in the roadmap. Yes. Great. I think that's all I wanted to show you. Yeah, you feel that I was kind of a bit in rush. If you would like to know more, then you can on Oboard website, Alexei, if you send a link in the chat, you can book a free demo session where Oboard guys will for 1 hour just show you in more depth the Oboard tool. Yeah, but it helps to resolve many of anti-patterns if you use it wisely. Yes, so you can see I have only 2 levels, and how dramatically kind of a lot of OKRs I already might have. If I would have 3-4 levels, then it would be even more difficult to grasp. Yeah, I think with it, I am done with the demo. Good. So, I don't know, maybe, yeah. Oh, let's take it on the questions. Yes, if you would like to have some questions of demo, let's just have a checkout, and then we take the questions. Yeah. So Igor.
Yeah. So for the checkout, like 2 main questions: what I like takeaways and what you liked or disliked. So you can put here. Let me send the link to the frame, and then on the right side. You can see, if you like scroll a bit on the right, next slide. Also, please, on a scale from 1 to 5, what is your return on investment for attending the workshop from 0, just like a broken cup of coffee, cold and disappointing, to the 5, more satisfying than finding money in old pairs of jeans from the last season. Next slide. I will put to like 3 minutes, more than enough.
And if you have problems with adding it to Miro, you can also put it into the Zoom chat. Your score on return on investment, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We put it the dot for you, and also your takeaways and what you liked or disliked. Yeah, and I will stop share for a while.
Yeah, your feedback will really help us to go to the next one workshop, so we can improve it. So we can reflect and reset.
Yeah, and make it even better for next participants.
Or somebody like Sook's example. Thank you. We deliberately wanted not to bring any like, I don't know, company boring strategy or like mission. So I wanted to have some fun. I think you have enough things in your daily work. Thank you for nice scores in the ROI.
Yeah. So when you're done with your feedback, remember to move the dots. So we have 5 dots moved only. In the next frame.
And I think you can slowly start to ask questions. Either about like a board functionality or something demo, or just about OKRs in general. We have 7 minutes left. Yeah. If anybody has any questions?
Yeah. So let me also share back.
Maybe no need to share back. We can see each other.
Yeah, I just wanted to, for one moment, to share this thing also. Yes. So as I said, I'm doing together with Igor, we are doing OKR reviews for many companies, and I'm sharing OKR stories on my LinkedIn. So if you would like to see them, so once in a while I share the OKR stories, anti-patterns, etc., with these graphics. So if you would like to follow, then you are more than welcome to join my LinkedIn. I will be happy to connect. You can connect by searching on this QR code on Miro. Good. Yeah. So now time for Q&As. I will stop sharing now. So any questions that you would like to ask? Everybody tired. 8 o'clock. Let us go for dinner.
Save 5 minutes of our life.
Yes. Okay. Good. Yeah. Then it's also good. Thank you for feedback, for your takeaways. Thank you for scaling return on investment. And yeah, so thank you for your time time with us. These 2 hours in the evening. It was a pleasure.
Yes. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
Right. With that,
So
wish you a
Thank you
good
very
evening or
much.
a good day, depends where you are.
and hopefully to see you on other workshops or on some other meetups. So thank you guys for spending your time with us.
Yep.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Good evening.
See you.
Yeah,
Thank you to all.
yay! Thank you. Thank
Very
you.
good
We
day.
hear you.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate your efforts.
Yeah, thank you, Victor.
Thank you, Victor.